We are nearing the end of this session. Okay, now we have Robert with us, so let me introduce him once again. Robert Lodewijks is CEO and co-founder at Yulo.ai, and he will deliver a talk titled The 30% Problem, How AI Unlocks Circularity in the World's Most Precious Research. Robert, now the floor is yours. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Nice to meet all of you. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, great. That's good. Then now I will check with you all. Can you also see my screen? Okay, great. So, yes, thanks for having me. My name is Robert Lodewijks, co-founder and CEO of the company Hulo. And today, in the topic of circularity, I would like to talk about the 30% problem. I hope I can convey my enthusiasm about this topic because it's really something that a lot of people do not really know about. First of all, a bit about myself, and first of all, thanks for the invitation to speak at this Rethink event. I think Milan, unfortunately, I couldn't be there. I really like the city, and I think it's a city that has a lot to do with culture and resilience, but also about rethinking different stuff. I think if you think about the Navigli and the 100 Resilient Cities initiative, I think you know what I mean with these three words. We're a Dutch company, so we're based in the Netherlands. And actually, we're trying to tackle one of the most urgent challenges that we have currently in the world, and that's related to water. So, big problem is that 30%, and now I come to the 30% problem, 30% of all drinking water that is produced worldwide is lost before it ever reaches a tap. And yeah, that's not simply an engineering problem, it's a resource crisis. So it's economic waste, and in many parts of the world, actually, it's a human threat as well. So let that sink in, that 30%. Imagine you go to the supermarket and every 1 out of the 3 apples never makes it to the market, or every 1 out of 3 kilowatts of electricity never reaches your home. Or maybe even more tangible, after a flight from Milan to Amsterdam, basically the airplane's engines, they keep roaring at full speed for another hour and a half. That's crazy, right? In the water industry, we call this non-revenue water. And it basically is attached to the 4 wasted E's. So first of all, energy, effort, emissions, and euros. So the water that never reaches the tap, it basically leaks away silently through the aging infrastructure. And with it, it goes energy, effort, emissions, and also billions of euros. And it's also not surprising that actually Italy, the European Union, has made available a lot of money as well to invest in the water infrastructure in Italy. If you look on how you can explain this, so up till now, utilities have been responding in quite a linear approach, meaning they dig, replace, and repeat. But building the new infrastructure is quite expensive. It's carbon intensive and often is also really unnecessary. So this is where we see the circular economy coming in. So one that really rejects throwing away and rebuilding, but thrives on preserving, optimizing, and extending the systems that we already have. So basically the POE, the circular way. How do we help with that? So we basically combine AI and physics. We're rethinking the water infrastructure for the circular age. Things like flow and pressure do detect and classify, localize leaks and anomalies in real time. So we do not need new pipes, no additional hardware. We work with what's already in the underground, even if it's limited. So basically, we make stuff smart that normally was dumb. And by transforming dump infrastructure into intelligent systems, we help utilities reduce water loss, target repairs better, and plan maintenance with insight rather than guesswork. And yeah, that's not just digital innovation. Actually, we call it digital circularity. And if you look at that, basically you talk about circular infrastructure. So every time a utility avoids unnecessary excavation or delays the full replacement because a better localized repair was possible, that's really material and time saved. And every time we do stop a leak before it escalates, that's energy, emissions, and water saved. And every time we empower a utility to do more with its existing network, we're extending its life, which is the essence of the circular infrastructure. And actually, we want to move from scarcity to a strategy. And this approach turns it from scarcity into strategy. Water utilities, many of which are, let's say, underfunded and overstretched, they suddenly gain the tools to act proactively instead of reactively. And that's really a mindset shift, you could call it. So from normally firefighting, you basically go to real-time insights, to foresight. So from wasting water, wasting resources, to a lot of wisdom. And the nice thing about it is that it's scalable. So because we do not rely anymore on extensive amounts of hardware, basically our platform integrates seamlessly into the existing environments, from, let's say, dense European cities to rural networks in the outskirts of the cities. And this is what we call a bit of a digital ecosystem. So we see this is just one tool that is part of what we would like to see as a much bigger digital infrastructure movement. One where AI, IoT, and platform like ours work in concert to reduce loss, optimize systems, and align economic performance with environmental impact. And just as, for example, blockchain offers transparency in supply chains, AI, like we apply it, offers transparency in physical infrastructure. So helping utilities see what was previously invisible and act where it matters and measure their impact over time. So this is my call to rethink. So when we talk about the circular economy and digital transformation, let's not only think about the latest gadgets or shiny new systems. Let's also ask ourselves, how can we intelligently preserve what we already have? How can we prevent waste before it's wasted? And how can also digital tools help us align with nature instead of extracting from it? And at Hulo, as a company and as a person, we believe that water, the world's most precious resource, deserves more than patches and pipes. It deserves intelligence. It deserves efficiency. And above all, it deserves circular thinking powered by digital tools. So, no more. The 30% problem is solvable, not by building more, but by knowing more. By making the invisible visible and the waste valuable, we can turn loss into leadership and water systems into resilient, circular ecosystems. Thank you for your time and for the possibility to present. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.